Okay, welcome to our video about how to interpret the placement test and history report for teaching an MTH level class. As you can see here on the screen, I have logged into Mathmagic Land. Once you're in there, since we're dealing with the MTH level courses, we're going to come over here and click MTH credit courses. The next screen will come up and you'll see right at the top here it says Math, History, and Placement Report for math classes. You'll have to click that link and then click this next link and download the file. That'll take a minute or two. Alright, so I have already downloaded this file and it looks like this. As you can see, it's sorted by instructor name first. Brian Adams is here first, and then by the class number and then section number. All right, and then within your classes it's sorted in alphabetical order. Now what makes this whole thing a bit of a challenge is that there's 4 different kinds of scores you have to look at. Okay, some of this is because we're in the process of moving from an older system to a newer one. There are 2 kinds of placement test scores, and there's 2 types of math history. All 4 things are in this report. All right, let's talk about the placement test scores first. The older style of placement test scores, it's also called, you'll hear it called a compass test. In the test ID field, you will see that it has HCMP. All right, so you see test ID here, HCMP, like right here, right? And these are the older style test scores. And then in the comp descriptive column here, it will tell you which of the older style tests, and then in the next column are the scores. Okay. Now, the interpreting file, which I have attached to the email I sent you, is this file here, and it will tell you what each of those possible scores mean. All right. I'm not going to go through that on the video, but you can just pick out the title of the test and then the score, and it'll tell you what it means. The next type of test, this other type, is the newer one. It's also called the VPT for Virginia Placement Test. And you'll see the key field here is also the test ID, the same thing. And this time it says HVCCS Math Placement. If you forget the H, it's VCCS Math Placement. So, and there are several different test names here. Okay. Now these ones down below are more important for the folks who are teaching the MTT classes, but they're very simple. You can see, like, if you were D3 is for Module 3, and if they have a 1, it means they passed it, and a 0 or a blank, they haven't passed it yet. That's all it's about. Now these 4 here will apply more to most of us. You can see there's 4. The CS Math Placement, if they have 101 or higher, it means they've got credit for modules 1 through 5. We'll see in a minute that means that they are able to take certain math classes. CS Placement 2, again, 101 or better, modules 1 through 9. Okay. CS Calc 173, this test is only going to have a 0 or a 1 or a blank, 1 or blank, I believe, actually. If it has a 1, it means that they're able to take Math 173. And same thing with the CS Calc 270. If it has a 1, it means they're able to take Math 270 or Math 164 if they wish. Now, that's all you need there. If you just scroll down a little bit here below the blue bar, you can look up the class that you are teaching this semester right here, okay, down this left-hand column, and it will tell you the different ways that somebody can meet the prereqs. Okay, these first 4, they can be met just by some group of modules. It lists them. So if they have, if you're teaching 163 and they have modules 1 credit for modules 1 through 9, they're good. All right, they can stay in your class. If they don't have credit for modules 1 through 9, then over in the history part, which we'll look at in a minute, if they have credit for Math 4, okay, or if on the college algebra test from this first part up here, right, that an HCMP college algebra, right, of 41 or more, they can get in. Okay, so the way this table works is any one of the items across from your class meets the requirement. Okay, now let's talk about the history part a little bit. The history for their math classes is over here in the last few columns. You see subject, class number, section, etc. And you can simply read it. Math 163, there's a section number. This student got an A, right? Math 240, 71A, there's no grade there. That's because, I don't know why there's no grade there. It looks like they probably dropped the course. There actually should be a grade in that one. That's a little disturbing. Looks like for some of these courses, there are blanks. Well, if a blank turns out to be critical for you, let me know, and I'm going to have to look into that bit. That's disturbing. I hadn't seen that before. Okay, so your history of courses they've taken is over here on the right. Now, the other kind of history is actually, you're going to find it here in the test ID. And again, this time, the code under test ID is going to be something like this. This HRS, HPRS, MTT. What that is forgetting the H again. It's Pearson MTT 7 or 8. So this student, this says this is MTT 7. They got a score of 83. MTT 8, they had a score of 86. All right. For this history, for any one of these modules, they need a score of 75 or more. Okay? So this student earned, passed module 7 because that's higher than 75, and passed module 8 because that one's higher than 75. Okay. All right, so you've got your 4 kinds of items to look at. Placement test scores, the older style with the HCMP, the newer style with the VCCS, your math courses, and then your modules, okay? And the main thing, once you get a sense for how the report works, then really you can just look down here in this little table, take the class you're looking at, and read across to see which things will give students meet the prerequisite for your class. That is it. I am obviously going to have to check into what's going on with some of the scores being missing, and as soon as we get that fixed, I will update that. I hope you have a good semester. Don't hesitate to give me a call if you have any questions. Thanks very much.